Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with George for your match preview for Aston Villa against Bournemouth. The matches are coming thick and fast, and after the Champions League victory against Bologna, back to Premier League action, this time at Villa Park against Bournemouth. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 5k. We're getting closer and closer by the day, and it's your support that's helping us get there. And get your comments and your thoughts on the lineup for tomorrow and your score predictions as well. George, great to have you again, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Rich. Yes, mate. Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Been a good week for the Villa, so you can't help but be in a good mood, can you?
Exactly. Now, we were talking before we came on the show. Obviously, you know, we've had so many games. We've got so many games to come. They come thick and fast. We've had a great victory against Fulham, great victory against Bologna, and a tough game to come against Bournemouth. They're a tricky side for any team that they're facing. But after the week we've had, to round it off with a victory would just be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Be the stuff of dreams, really. You know, a fantastic win at Fulham on Saturday. You know, that was arguably like the performance of the season. And then rolled that into Bologna. And again, another contender for performance of the season. I thought we were great in both games. And, you know, especially changing the team against Bologna as much as we did. You know, you'd never have thought that was I wouldn't say it was a weakened side, but a changed side. It's something we've been like pushing to see, wasn't it? To see what our backups could do. And, you know, and they didn't let us down at all, did they? So, yeah, you know, if you're not going into confidence this week, if you're not going into this game with a bit of confidence, when are you going to be?
And that's the thing we've been crying out for, and this is what Unai Emery's wanted, this ability to not only change games with substitutions, but to bring players in that will add something different. I wouldn't even say weaken the side or are the same. They add different skills, different things for the different teams that we're facing. And the to be able to rotate the likes of Watkins, the likes of Digne, even Matty Cash, Jacob Ramsey, I mean, and leave them fresh if they do come in for the weekend is exactly what Unai Emery has wanted with his squad.
Oh, it's brilliant, you know, and I'm going to take credit for this because, you know, we did the preview to Fulham before we knew about, you know, as far as we knew, we were still in the middle of an injury crisis. And then all of a sudden, and I remember saying, like, I just want to see what a full Villa squad looks like because we never ever get to see one. And then Emery waves his magic wand and suddenly everyone's back. And that's exactly what we got, wasn't it? The last two games, we've seen the actual depth we've got and they're all available. So, it's absolutely brilliant. And, I'd say if you can keep these players fit, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But, you know, that's hardly a given, is it? You know, long season and you know, injuries come and go, but hopefully they can be a bit better and a bit kinder to us than they were last year.
Exactly. Now, on to this game on the weekend, Bournemouth. We were talking before we came on the show. They are a tough side for anyone to face, and they have had some tough fixtures to start the season off. I think they've played Chelsea, Liverpool, they've beaten Arsenal, and they've played Newcastle as well. They've got a draw against Newcastle, had a defeat against Leicester, which they might be disappointed about, but you know, that result against Arsenal last week probably cancels that one out. But a very, very tough and tricky side to come up against, you know, with really good attacking players.
Yeah, tough old cookie, Bournemouth. Your man, Ariola, isn't it, the manager?
Yes.
You know, I can't remember saying it was one of my worst predictions of last year, but I said he'd be like the first manager out. And, you know, after about 8-9 games, I was pretty smug because they were getting absolutely smashed. And I thought, you know, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, but fair play to him. He's absolutely turned it on its head. And, you know, they end up having a good season last year. And they've, you know, and considering the games they've had so far this season, you've got to say being mid-table is pretty decent. You know, a great win against Arsenal at the weekend, who have, you know, they'd only lost, I think, one game in like 6 months. You know, obviously the Saliba sending off had a big impact in that game, but, you know, Bournemouth still had to go on and win it, and they did. Again,
Yeah.
I remember the game at Everton, they were dead and buried with about 5 minutes left, and somehow absolutely pulled something out of the hat there, and turned that one round to win 3-2. So yeah, they are a good side. The
Yeah.
Bournemouth for a few years after promotion, they seem to be just a steady team with like the players that got promoted, but slowly but surely most of them are gone now, aren't they? You're looking at like I see Adam Smith still hanging around in defence. You still got like Lewis Cook. I think he joined a couple of years later. But yeah, it's kind of got a bit of a freshness about them now. Bournemouth, very top heavy in my opinion, and they've got some good wide players, good attackers, and on their day they can cause anyone a problem.
Well, yeah, you mentioned the attack, and they've got their front four, according to FOTMob, has got Tavernier, Marcus Tavernier, Justin Cliver, Antoine Semenyo, and Evan Nielsen, who's the new player, the replacement to Dominic Solanke. I think he's got one, maybe two goals so far this season in the Premier League, but the one that stands out for me is Semenyo, and he was dangerous even last season when I think he might have come on as sub, but he's started the season absolutely firing, and we really do need to watch out for him on the weekend.
Yeah, good little player him. I think it was the away game last year, wasn't it? And he sort of had was it Konza? I think on the day was at right back, and he's absolutely tore Konza a new one. Luckily we ended up scraping a draw in the last knockings. I think there's a Watkins goal, but yeah, he's a really handy player, and Tavernier as well. Remember having a really good game, and they were good on the wings, good attacking play, and very physical up top, and we didn't like that challenge on the day, but we managed to get that point, as I said. So yeah, it's not. I don't think you can sort of expect to roll over any team. So we're gonna have to be on our game. And the last couple of European games we haven't been great afterwards. So I'm hoping this time, we can the good feeling can get us over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the manager, you mentioned Iraola did very well last season in the end. Plays a Basque manager as well, like Unai Emery. So kind of two Spanish Basque managers against each other again this weekend. But plays a real high tempo, pressing game. I don't think they will change the way that they play. That does leave some gaps in behind. It's very dangerous going forward. It expects the players to be extremely fit. But if we can kind of weather that a little bit, or cope with that press, which we do tend to do pretty well, other than maybe the odd lapse in concentration, we can definitely cause them problems.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking, they remind me of a bit like Leeds when they were up.
Mm.
Kind of similar team, very high energy. As you say, take a few risks, but when it works, it works. But yeah, no doubt they can be got at as well. With the firepower we've got and the form we're in, we can we can they can be dangerous, but we can be bloody more dangerous, and that's that's what we're all hoping for, isn't it, mate?
Exactly. I do want to shout out Morgan Rogers again. Another tremendous performance against Bologna. I don't think anyone really understands like how to handle him at the moment, because he's got the height, he's got the physicality, he's got the speed, he's got the dribbling technique, he can play the ball one touch. The only thing that he could probably do is shoot a little bit better. But when you're seeing him running with like two or three players just hanging off him and he's still keeping control of the ball, this guy is just unbelievable at the moment.
Oh, he's a bit special, mate. I was so impressed with him against Bologna the other day. Yeah, I thought I know like a few of you said Matson, and Matson was very good as well. But for me, Rogers was the standout player. And as you say, teams don't know what to do with him. He's kind of got a bit of everything, isn't he? He's big, he's strong, he's quick, his brain's getting there. So it's just that final bit sometimes, whether it's the shot or the final pass. But he's a young kid still, and that's going to
Mm.
come. And I think I said on here a few weeks ago, I think we've got a real like jewel in the crown here, and he's going to be worth some money in a year or two. God, he's getting the reputation now, and it's just whether when teams start making a plan to deal with just him, whether he can still do what he needs to do. And but he looks like a confident boy to me, and yeah, I think the world is his oyster.
100%. And quick word on John Duran and Ollie Watkins. I mean, how good is it to have two strikers at the moment? Watkins with 5 goals in the Premier League. John Duran, I think now is 7 goals in all competitions. At the minute, it doesn't matter which one of them plays. They seem like they're going to score, whoever it is.
Yeah, exactly, mate. What a position to be in, eh? Watkins is in a rich vein of form at the moment after a sort of a slowish start at the early days, but he's looking like the Watkins of old now. You know, Duran, I was pleased for him the other night because I thought he did quite well starting the game. You know, he's not ain't got the same presence as Watkins, but he does a different job. And, you know, he tried his heart out and I was delighted that he got his goal just before, he was coming off anyway. Not that he knew that, but obviously he threw his little paddy after, but I think we can all look past that.
Yeah,
I think if any of us in that position would have probably reacted the same, you know. By the end of the game, he was laughing and joking, having a lovely time. So, yeah, you know, let's just enjoy it, mate. Two great strikers that I think most teams. I was chatting to a lad at work today, and he goes, "Jesus, like you've got two strikers there that most teams in Europe would cry out for either, let alone having both." So yeah, we're very fortunate.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I could go through every single player and give them a shout out and talk and wax lyrical about them. But let's get your predicted lineup up at the moment, and then we'll talk kind of general how we might approach this game. Just talk us through what you've gone for, mate.
You know, and all the times we've been doing this podcast, I think this was the hardest team to pick I've ever had to pick. You know, near enough most of that team you could have put a replacement in, and no one would have scoffed at it. But yeah, this is what I've gone for. I don't know whether Unai's done his presser yet today, but I don't know about the fitness of Onana, and I know he come off with a knock. And I thought Barkley's done well most of the times he's played this season, so I thought he's a natural replacement there. Even though we've got Kamara now back in the fold, you know, that could be his spot anytime now. But I'd say maybe it's a little bit too soon for that. I just thought Bailey. I think looks like he was all right the other night, but I don't know, something about the strength of Bailey seems to have disappeared. He's just getting knocked off the ball too easily for me at the moment. And I can understand wingers, confidence players. It's not quite happening for him just now, but he'll be fine. But I think, you know, he could maybe do with a little rest here. So I've gone, you know, McGinn's back fit. I thought, you know, he can play there quite easily. Ramsey comes back in on the other side. Left back, you've got a big question now, Dean or Maatsen. But at the end of the day, you've got Digne, who has been a standout player this season, arguably man of the match at Fulham. And then you've got Maatsen, who comes in and was arguably man of the match again against Bologna. So, you know, that's a toss-up between them two. But Luca Dean has done nothing to lose that shirt, in my opinion. So I would, he's my pick for this. And what else have I done? Yeah, I've just moved Konza back into centre-back and Matty Cash into right-back, just as Bournemouth play down the wings a lot. And I think you'd rather have a proper full-back, wouldn't you, than a centre-back, you know, trying to do his best.
Yeah, no Robin Olsen in goal.
Absolutely not. No.
But yeah, I think Unai on his press conference said the only player who's not available is Jaden Philogene because he's suspended. Bogard and Swinkles, he said, are playing for the under-21s tonight, as of i.e. Friday night. So they won't be part of the squad. So that constitutes a full strength. You know, no necessarily young players as such on the bench. So that would point to Tyrone Mings being on the bench as well. So it's a super strong squad. And yeah, I don't think you got any arguments there. I mean, it could be Onana, it could be Barkley. It doesn't really make a massive difference. And I think McGinn, as Martin said, you know, such an important player for us, was looking somewhere back to fitness on Tuesday, played 65 minutes. You know, the likelihood is as the captain, he starts. So, yeah, I think that does make sense, him coming in on that right-hand side, a bit more combative in midfield, especially against Christie in that midfield, Ryan Christie for...
Yeah, because he can tuck in as well, can't he?
Yeah, and then you maybe bring Leon Bailey on later on in the game to have an impact.
He has a good record against Bournemouth, Bailey, a good scoring record. So, yeah, maybe this could be the game where he breaks his duck.
Exactly, and you know, when he came on against Wolves, he was part of the catalyst that changed the game, along with Ross Barkley. So, could be an idea to bring him back into the fold, you know, via substitute appearances. So, yeah, I don't disagree with that lineup at all. And what a position to be in. I mean, maybe Diego Carlos is a bit unlucky there not to be in the side, but yeah, it's so exciting at the moment to decide what he's going to play, who he's going to play. You've got Kamara in there as well. You've got Maatsen. You've got Buendia sniffing around as well. He came on against Fulham, so lots of opportunities for lots of players, which is fantastic. So I don't really argue with you on that. I mean, FOTMob, I'll just share my screen quickly. They've gone for their predicted lineup, which is Martinez obviously in goal. You've got Dina, Torres, Konsa, Cash, same as what you said. They've got Onana and Tielemans and McGinn and Ramsey, as you've said, and Rodgers and Watkins up top. So only real change from yourself, from your team, is Onana and Barkley. So yeah, you're kind of, in terms of the stats, in terms of the experts, I think you're almost there, mate. So we will wait and see. But in terms of approach, Villa generally go quite attacking, then try and control the game. We haven't necessarily seen them fly out of the box too quickly. Bologna started quite well on Tuesday night. It was quite open, wasn't it? And Villa did go attacking as well. So can you see that kind of rhythm, that kind of fitness coming through for Villa to really start the game on the front foot, or would you suggest it's kind of going to be that controlled possession again?
I don't know about that. Obviously, last time, all I can liken this to was Man United. And obviously, that game, we were very slow and controlled. But I think that was a tactic to counter what Man United do more than us being tired. Maybe a mixture of both. So we'll have to see what condition they're in for this game. And obviously, there's more depth there. So if he does make the changes, there should be more fresh players playing anyway. But yeah, last season, that was a big staple of us, wasn't it? Starting fast and hitting teams quick. Obviously, maybe that's not been so much the case this year. I guess it doesn't really matter, mate, does it? As long as we come strong at some stage of the game, I'm not bothered whether we start well, finish well, get come good at half time, but just win the game.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be nice not to concede first and have to come back from a goal or two behind. It would be nice to maybe get 2-0 up or 3-0 up and then potentially take the foot slightly off the gas. But yeah, like you say, mate, as long as the result is a W at the end of 90, 95 minutes, we don't care.
Yeah, 100%, mate. That's it.
Brill. So just in terms of score prediction then, just to finish up the show, make sure you get your score predictions in the comments as well, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 5K. Support this week has been tremendous. Almost 5,000 views on the Bologna match reaction, and fans forum was great. Talking Tactics has been great all week. So your support is just tremendous for us. So thank you very much. But make sure we want to continue growing. So please like, please subscribe, and get your comments in on your score predictions and your thoughts on the lineup. So, George, tomorrow's game, Saturday's game, score and scorers.
I was just thinking about this earlier on, and I realised I've been far too conservative, haven't I, so far this season? I just can't get it out of my head. I'm just expecting. I feel like we're getting too spoiled and things are going too good. And I keep thinking, we're going to trip up or we're going to drop points. But I think I'm wrong, aren't I? There's nothing pointing to that happening at the moment. So I'm going to be confident this week. And I think we're going to brush Bournemouth aside. And I'm going to go for a 3-0 win.
That's very confident. Who's getting the goals?
I think will be Watkins, Rodgers, and we'll go Duran again off the bench.
That would be fantastic, because I've got all of those in my fantasy Premier League team. Well, Duran's on the bench, so if Saka or someone doesn't play, then Duran will come in. But nice, Watkins and Rodgers have been getting me points for the last 3 weeks, so I would love that to happen. But they've got a great link up as well at the moment, Rodgers and Watkins. It's brilliant to watch, and I don't know if it was us that talked about it or me and Martin talked about it, but that little trio of Watkins, Ramsey, and Rodgers is just really exciting. So, yeah, that'll be just tremendous. Absolutely. I was going to go 3-0, but let's say we won't keep a clean sheet. So I'll say 3-1. I think Semenyo will probably score. Yeah, same as last year. But I do say Watkins. I will say Yuri. I think Yuri Tielemans is due a goal. And I will say John Duran. Why not? He loves a goal, doesn't he? So I'm very confident, and I think what I was going to say before is just that consistency that Unai Emery insists upon. Having a squad as big as it is just highlights how like to the players how consistent they need to be, because and that just backs up his point even more, doesn't it? Because they want to keep their place, so they have to keep consistency of performance. And so, just like you said about kind of expecting the wheels to fall off at some point, yes, we might lose a game here or there, but because he's driving that consistent level of performance, and then the players have other players breathing down the necks who want to play, it just feeds the consistency even more. So, the wins will come as a result of that.
Yeah, it's a good place to be, mate, isn't it? Yeah, good environment with the lads. As you say, if one player doesn't perform, there's someone else ready to nick his shirt, and they're all they're all well aware of that, aren't they? And I guess that's what a big club does, isn't it? You just try and keep rolling and keep pushing each other, whether you're a sub, whether you're coming off the bench, whether you're a starter. I loved that the other day when Kamara came on, and you saw Onana on the bench singing Kamara's song. Because he was so happy for him, and you're thinking, really, he's Kamara's. If he's nicking anyone's place, mate, it's going to be yours. But there's obviously such good harmony in the squad, and I love that for Onana, and that's a good team spirit, and that's a sign of a club that's got something good going on.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get the result tomorrow. We're both in confident mood. Hope you guys watching are in confident mood. We'll be back with instant match reaction with myself tomorrow. Also in the away end, my opposition preview with Bournemouth fan, which will be out in the morning. We've got Lions Raw full match reaction on Sunday, and then we've got Carabao Cup preview, fans forum, and all that jazz. So stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Help us on the road to 5K. Thank you all for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.